Professor Sci-Fi has found another hidden masterpiece. They thought they had discovered a lost spaceship, but Professor Sci-Fi is here to explain why they actually opened a doorway to hell. Watch until the end to understand the terrifying secret behind Event Horizon. A cool new spaceship called the Event Horizon goes to explore the edge of our solar system. But when it gets close to the planet Neptune, the ship completely disappears. 7 years go by. A scientist named Dr. Weir has a scary dream about a broken ship and lost astronauts. He keeps a photo of a woman named Claire on his desk because he misses her very much. He gets ready and joins a rescue ship called the Lewis and Clark for a top-secret mission. The crew doesn't know why the mission is a secret. The captain gives the plan, and the crew goes to sleep in special pods for the long trip. Doctors check on Weir while he sleeps. He gets a shot to help his body handle the fast travel, and his sleeping pod closes. The trip takes 56 days, and suddenly they arrive. Weir hears someone calling his name and wakes up. He gets out and looks around, seeing that the rest of the crew is still asleep, but he can still hear the voice. He walks to the control room and sees a woman in the pilot's seat who looks like Claire. But when she turns around, her eyes are gone. He starts screaming, and it turns out he was just having another bad dream inside his pod. The ship's doctors let him out and tease him, saying that everyone has bad dreams the first time they travel this way. Weir goes to the main room where the whole crew is meeting. One worker, Peters, is watching a video of her young son, and Captain Miller says he is sorry she had to leave her family for this job. Then the captain introduces the doctor to the team. Stark is the helper, and Justin is the engineer who fixes things. The rest of the team is Cooper, Peters the medic, Smith the pilot, and DJ the doctor. Weir tells them that they found the Event Horizon ship that was lost for 7 years. He explains that this ship was special because it could travel faster than light. The crew doesn't believe him because they think that is impossible. Weir explains how it works by asking what the shortest path is between 2 points. He shows them that if you fold a piece of paper, 2 faraway spots can touch each other. The ship uses a black hole engine to fold space so it can jump from one place to another instantly. After the ship jumps through a space tunnel, the space unfolds and goes back to normal. This is called gravity mode, and Weir created it. The ship was supposed to go to a nearby star, but it got lost. Now a scary signal has come from the ship that sounds like screaming and a Latin phrase. DJ says the phrase means, "Help me." Suddenly, alarms go off because they are getting close to the Event Horizon. It is hard to see at first, but Smith manages to park their ship next to it. The ship is giant and looks very strange. Stark checks the ship for life, but the machines show that no one is alive and it is freezing cold inside. A small team goes onto the ghost ship while Dr. Weir watches. Inside, they find things floating in the air because there is no gravity. They don't see any people. Justin goes to check the engine, while Peters and the captain look at the front of the ship. They find safety devices that can blow the ship apart if there is an emergency. The captain looks at the hospital room and sees that it looks clean. Suddenly, a floating hand hits his helmet, but he tries to stay brave. Justin walks toward the engine through a tunnel with spinning parts that looks like a giant blender. Meanwhile, Peters finds bloody footprints on the floor while she tries to find the ship's computer records. A frozen body floats up to Peters. The team is confused about why the body looks so hurt. It looks like someone's eyes were pulled out. While this is happening, Justin finds the center of the engine and accidentally turns it on. The engine turns into a liquid and Justin is sucked inside. A big explosion hurts their own ship and it starts losing air. Justin manages to get out of the engine, but he is in bad shape. Captain Miller has to move the whole crew onto the empty Event Horizon so they can fix their ship. However, they only have enough air for 20 hours. Peters gets the gravity working on the new ship, and Stark checks the computers. Their radios are broken, so no one from Earth can save them. Smith looks at their old ship and finds a huge hole in it. The others look at the bloody tracks and try to figure out what happened to the first crew. The doctors check on Justin, but he won't wake up. Cooper says he pulled Justin out of a liquid engine, but Weir thinks he is joking. Weir says that is impossible because of how the ship works. The men start to argue, but the captain stops them and asks the doctor to explain the engine again. The engine has 3 rings that make a black hole so the ship can travel anywhere. The captain orders that room to be locked up. Later, Peters is looking at the ship's videos when she hears a noise in the hospital room. She grabs a tool to protect herself and looks around the room. She sees something moving under a table. She looks and sees a vision of her son with a hurt leg. She screams, but DJ tells her nothing is there. Later, she looks at the signal again. The captain of the lost ship said a Latin phrase, but it wasn't a greeting. Suddenly, the power starts moving fast, and Weir realizes the engine is working on its own. He and the captain run to check it. At the same time, Justin wakes up and says that darkness is coming. Weir finds a broken wire, but then he hears his wife's voice again. The room around Weir starts to look different and scary. He calls for help and sees a vision of his wife with no eyes asking him to stay. At the same time, the captain sees a burnt man coming out of the liquid engine. Later, the crew meets up to talk about the strange things they are seeing. Smith is sure the ship is cursed. DJ tells him to stay calm, and the captain sends Smith and Cooper to fix their ship. After that, Stark tells the captain that the ship seems to be alive and reacting to them. Then, Justin wakes up and tries to hurt himself by going out into space without a suit. The crew tries to talk Justin out of it, but he says he has darkness inside and opens the door. He realizes what he did for a second, and Captain Miller luckily saves him by pulling him back inside. Doctors rush to help him and put him in a special medical tank. The captain says they have to act fast because they only have 4 hours of air left. They need to know what happened to the first crew. Stark remembers Justin's words about the darkness. Weir can't explain it and walks away, but the captain follows him. Miller says Weir built the ship, so he must know where it went for 7 years. But Weir doesn't have an answer. While walking, the captain hears the voice of a friend who died on his old ship. There was an explosion back then, and Miller couldn't save everyone. Miller promised never to lose another team member. It turns out the ship knows everyone's secrets and makes them see what they are afraid of. Then DJ admits he translated the Latin phrase wrong. It actually means, save yourself from hell. The ship went to a place outside our universe that was filled with evil. Cooper says the ship is fixed and they can leave. Peters finally opens the ship's video records, and what she sees is terrifying. The video shows that the first crew went crazy and started hurting each other. Miller tells his team to leave right away and plans to blow up the event horizon. Weir disagrees because he thinks the ship is alive and won't let them go. The crew gets their things to leave, but Weir stays because he feels at home. At the last second, Peters sees a vision of her son running. She chases him to a high bridge, and when he smiles, she steps toward him and falls to her death. Dr. Weir finds her and sees a vision of his wife. This makes him go completely crazy. He hurts his own eyes and becomes a bad person controlled by the ship. Meanwhile, Cooper finishes fixing the ship, and Smith sees Weir leaving. Smith tells the captain that Weir was just on their ship. Miller finds out that Weir took the explosives and tells Smith to get out, but it's too late. The ship explodes, killing Smith and throwing Cooper into space. Cooper finds a way to float back to the ship. Miller warns DJ that Weir is dangerous, but DJ is too slow. The crazy Weir hurts DJ, and Miller finds his friend's body later. The angry captain finds a tool to use as a weapon. He goes to find Weir and finds Stark, who is knocked out. Weir is sitting in the captain's chair and says the ship went to a place of pure evil. Weir says the ship is alive and beautiful even though it hurt the crew. He wants to turn the engine on and go back to the evil place. Stark tries to attack him, but Weir is too strong and grabs Miller's tool. The captain warns Weir he might break the ship, but Weir isn't scared. Cooper flies back to the window and tries to talk to them. Weir shoots at the window and the air pulls him out into space. The captain luckily stays inside and saves Stark. They hear a noise and think it might be Weir, but it is just Cooper. Even though Weir is gone, the engine is still starting. Miller decides to blow up the middle of the ship so the front part can escape. They prepare to go into sleeping pods and send for help. Miller goes to set the bombs while Cooper sees blood filling the ship. Miller tries to set the timer, but he sees his old friend again. Suddenly, Weir appears again. Weir hurts Miller and says that hell is much worse than words. Miller sees scary visions but fights back. He can't win the fight, so at the last second, he blows up the bombs to split the ship in two. The back of the ship with Weir and Miller disappears, but the front with Cooper, Stark, and Justin stays safe. They go to sleep and wait for rescuers. 72 days later, a rescue team arrives. Stark wakes up happy, but then she sees Weir's face under a mask. She is terrified, but her friends try to tell her it's just a dream. The door closes, leaving us to wonder what happens next.